Hey guys, Coach Hanna here again with another weekly devotional that I just wanted to share with you guys. And I don't know about you, but I do not know what day of quarantine it is. I feel like the days keep getting longer and longer, and the last thing that I'm wanting to do right now is to be still. All I want to do, and actually my favorite thing to do, is actually to go out and for a walk. And even though I have seen my house a million times and the ones surrounding it, it is actually the only thing that's keeping me busy and active. I want to be back in the gym. I want to go back to work. I want to hug my friends and my family. And I'm sure many of you are feeling the same way and actually are dying to get back to school, believe it or not. So as we continue through this time of the unknown, I just keep thinking about, what is God really teaching us during this moment? What is God teaching me? Why am I feeling this urge just to get moving? And maybe it's just because we've been stuck in the house, but I keep being reminded of the verse in Psalm 46:10, where it's talking to us about being still. And it reads this, actually, verse 10, Psalm 46, verse 10, I'll read it. It says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world." And I keep going back to that whole first part where it says, be still. And if God is calling us to be still, what does that look like? What should we do? How can we attain such peace in our lives during this unsettling and unnerving time? As soon as I find myself alone or with the door closed, I can hardly wait to get busy again. Like, I'm excited to get back to the normal. So entering into a quiet place or a time of isolation doesn't really help me get to that place of peace. So how can I be still? Well, I took a couple verses back and I looked at verse 8, and verse 8 reads this. It says, "Come see the glorious works of the Lord." So God is basically saying here in verse 8, He's basically sending us a personal invitation to witness how He has delivered us and He will deliver us. So basically, He's just saying there's nothing new under the sun. We're always worried about what's happening in the world or what's going on that we can't get control over. And He's basically saying, yet look throughout history. See what I've done. See what I've done for you and what I'm going to do. He's continually working in our lives, and He's trying to show us that He is in control, not us. We have to be reminded of what the Lord has done so we can look forward to the future. And secondly, I feel like this time of being still is a good time for us to do a little bit of a self-evaluating. And I know that's a lot of that's a lot of being still. But I feel like as we are focusing on what God has done and what God is going to do, then that part includes us and what God is teaching us and how God is going to use us to deliver us. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So when we go before God in quiet, that's where the transformation takes place. We can be honest with Him. We can tell Him what we're feeling and our worries and our doubts. And I'm going to say that self-reflection is not always easy. God usually points out things and reveals things to me, like what I'm doing wrong and how I'm sinning and how I'm not pleasing Him or others. And it's a time where I'm completely vulnerable. But the good news is that God, during those times, again, the transformation happens there. That's when He can really see into our hearts and see what we need to and how we need to grow. And I think God, during this time, is specifically telling us to be still. Find peace and refuge in me. Know that I'm working in you so that you can pour into others and advance the kingdom. So during this time where we're going a little crazy and we don't know what to do, I just encourage you to get out there and go in peace with Him. See what the Lord is doing in your life. Use this time to reflect on His faithfulness and what He's doing and what He's going to do, and get excited about what we get to look forward to. Give Him your worries and your thoughts, because the truth is that when we recognize what God has done, the smaller our issues seem to be and the bigger that God appears. and the more that we can follow God and his purpose for our lives instead of our own agendas and abilities. We can't always rely on ourselves. So that's what my challenge is to you this week is, first of all, I'm going to ask you just to reread the verses, Psalm 46, 8 through 10, read all of them, and find rest in who he is, what he's doing, and how he's pouring into you. Be still and totally reflect on what God is teaching you. And I cannot wait to hear what God is teaching you. We encourage you guys to share that with us during this time. We love you guys, and we cannot wait to see you back soon. Have a great week and a great weekend.